Welcome to episode 22 of YOUx2, where we're on an adventure discovering the two of us that are living this human experience, this character that we're playing here, and the actor behind this character, a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that's made of unconditional love. We've covered several subjects over the last 20-ish episodes, and as advertised, this next subject that we're going to be covering is bound to be dramatic. It's all about what I learned through heartbreak. And I'll start off approaching this subject by saying that experiencing what it might feel like to have a broken heart is one of the big, huge attractions that really draws all of our souls to this human plane to experience it. And I say might because it's one of the huge ahas of this life when we realize that our true heart, our higher heart, can never, ever be broken. It just feels like it sometimes. But in my experience, that heartbreaking feeling is actually our human heart that goes, the little sting, the little prick in our heart that happens when we go into fight or flight mode. It's like when we're startled, when we're scared, when we're surprised, when we feel in danger and we have that, our heart activates and goes into fight or flight mode. It's just that all those physical monsters that our body is designed to react in fear to have been replaced by emotional monsters. The fear of being rejected, the fear of being abandoned, the fear of being, not enough, the blah, 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 all the usual suspects. And what keeps that heartbreak feeling going and going and going, because usually our emotion, it'll last like 90 seconds, and then we just keep kind of looping it because we continually rehash over and over and over that thing that is creating that fear within us, that emotional fear. And eventually we get either exhausted where we pass out and go to sleep, or something distracts us momentarily. We also might move on from feeling the initial fear and move into a new fear of, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to fear. And now I'm even worthless. I'm even more worthless than I thought I was before because I'm fearing. And we judge ourselves. And so we go into another fear, and it just keeps looping and looping and looping and looping until maybe, something else reminds us again, like the person or a situation comes back in to remind us of that situation we thought we were supposed to be feeling heartbroken about, and then we start all over again. Ugh. And is this feeling wrong? Admittedly, it does feel very uncomfortable, and that's because it's new to us. Because back home, where we come from, it's a place of unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter. We don't experience this on the other side, but we come here on purpose to experience the fears and all the emotions that are attached to it. I know. Are we stupid? Why on earth would we want to come here to experience that? So our higher self, our soul, is eternal. And it's on this quest to understand itself more fully, more deeply. And it has had other adventures, so many other adventures to try to understand who it is. But this earthly plane offers something that some of the others don't, in that we can veil ourselves, forgetting this powerful supernatural being that we are, at least momentarily. And as we walk around in these kind of rent-a-bodies as we go through this life experience. And because of that veiling, because of that forgetting that we have, at least in like a large portion of the beginning of our life anyway, we're able to experience the contrasts to back home and understand ourselves more deeply by experiencing our powerlessness, feeling limited, feeling small, and all of those other delicious experiences and emotions that we can experience as this human. So we aren't stupid. Maybe we're just a little bored or we're a little curious. We definitely feel the feels throughout all these heartbreak experiences that we have on the earthly plane. And I'm not going to be able to cover all of those heartbreak scenarios because we're only alive for 120 years, right? But I'm going to cover several of my own personal ones over these next several episodes. And you might ask, what? Why share your personal heartbreak experiences with us, Zen? And that's a great question, because what has that got to do with getting to know the two of us that are living this human experience? And I know definitely I'm usually a very more of a private person. I don't share a lot of those heartbreak stories, so it's definitely not to get attention. Part of getting to know the two sides of us that are having this experience is seeing the difference between the human side of us having the human experience and our spiritual side having the human experience. And a nice side effect of all of that, too, is when we look at the charged emotions that are still bouncing around in the basement of our, humanness, we discover the blocks that are keeping us from experiencing the unconditional love of the higher realms. One of my favorite quotes from Rumi goes something along the lines of, we don't need to find love. We just need to find the blocks that we've created between us and love. I'm almost done reading an amazing book called The Presence Process by Michael Brown. And I'll link that in the description box of this video below if you're interested in checking it out. Because in his book, he mentions, it says, when we look back over our life experience, if we choose to receive our past as a reoccurrence of emotional signatures instead of viewing it as a series of physical circumstances, we're able to identify a pathway of similar emotional signatures extending back all the way into our childhood. One of the biggest insights we may receive at this point is that it isn't our adult experience that requires integration, but the unintegrated aspects of our childhood. So basically, that says that, these emotions that we have when we're younger in childhood and we stuff into the basement, we don't feel them and process them, and they're down there, still charged, bouncing around, still influencing, impacting our life, will continue to show itself in some way in the outside world until we see it, until we realize it, and go back and see, what we can do with that original charged emotion. It's like our little child self inside throwing a tantrum, demanding to be heard over and over and over and over and over again until we pay attention. That's why we look at it as it's our reaction, which is a reaction, a repeated experience. And that takes the form of upsets in our outside life. And I love it because in his book, he calls upsets setups, because it's basically our 7 or 8 year old self has been trying to get our attention all that time, continually sending us messages and messengers over and over and over again to try to have us look back at that, because we have all these, he calls them charged emotions that are still impacting our lives, and they'll continue to send us messengers until we get the message. We integrate those aspects of our childhood by sitting with the charged emotions from our childhood without judgment, unconditionally. Those charged emotions from our childhood that we pushed down within us as we abandoned that little child to fit in. No human child has ever had the unconditional attention or love that it looked for from its parents when it was a child. We only know what we experienced, and we continue to pass on that experience until we face those unintegrated charged emotions. And then that is when we can experience our adult self picking up our child self and being that parent we were looking for as children. I'll talk about that more in later episodes. So, the personal experiences that I'll be sharing are not meant to make anyone feel guilty or to place blame anywhere. I have the mental capacity to know that my entire life was perceived through my own filters and everyone else's was perceived through their own. So, they may not match up, right? We always have that where you can have seven people look at a situation and everyone perceives it differently. So, that's not the intention behind this at all. I also know that there are reasons why people chose to do what they wanted to do, and that I chose what I wanted to do, and that in each of these fated events, all the stuff that we wanted to experience down here, that within each of those, we all have a choice of what story, what interpretation we put to it, and what emotion it is that we want to feel as we go through those. The presence process asks us to feel the emotions unconditionally, not try to figure them out with our mind. And so I was nudged by spirit to share these personal experiences of mine to show how you can move your charged emotions that are in your subconscious and move them into the conscious world, allowing me to pick up my little child and allow it to feel the feels so that it can convert those and remove the charge from them. My hope is that in doing this, allows you also to bring some of those charged emotions that are in your subconscious into the conscious world, and to know that you are definitely not alone in the feelings that you have felt growing up throughout your life. In the next episode, I'll start sharing some of those heartbreaking experiences. So get the popcorn ready and put on some comfy jammies because the drama is coming soon. But in the meantime, if you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these U times 2 videos, I also put out weekly energy updates for each of the zodiac signs, also monthly readings for each zodiac sign, and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up, click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that'll give you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, and it helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video or share a video, comment on a video, or subscribe to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so giddy. It wants to share the videos of my channel with other people as well. So if you feel so inspired to do any of those things, I'm very, very grateful for that. And they are free as well, so that's very convenient. Also, any of the readings that I do are general readings. And if you're looking for more specific answers and specific information for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is listed in the description box below as well. So all you beautiful souls, as you go throughout this week, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. So have an amazing week. I'll be talking with you soon. In the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.